Okay, here we are, guys. It is, what is today? I don't even know what day it is. It's Monday. It's Monday, 9:15, and here we are back. Get going fast. I missed you guys. Okay, so been traveling the last few weeks. Really, the kind of last. Okay, month. Here we are, guys. There we go. Over there, we can see that we are live. Always like to check in over here. See if looks like we got a few people who are watching. So welcome. Glad to have you. Yo, what's up? All right, we're going to be having our wacky races tonight. So make sure you are talking during the thing. And you know what? It's wacky. It's just wacky. You know, you never know who's going to win. You think right at the one, Nigel, 9-layer Nige is up there. He's been chatting all, and then all of a sudden, someone else comes up from behind and wins. So make sure you get involved in that. Let's see. Let's put this up here for you. There it is. There it is. So we're competing for the top spots, as always, as silly as that is. Anyway, good to have you guys back. I have been gone for, I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel like I haven't been that engaged for the last month. I've been here. You guys keep me going. We're hanging in there. But, I've had a lot going on with family and this and that. It's been a busy summer, which is always good because it's going to be once winter comes in, we're going to cocoon on into our AI. Really excited for the winter. I'm going to admit, winter is always a good time for this kind of stuff because you don't have that need to go outside so much. You feel a lot better about just making some soup and sitting on your computer all day doing AI. And I'll tell you, last year we really had a great time. We really had a great time over in the Discord with our winter computing. Really kind of grew close to each other. We all did a lot of projects together. I think we all pretty much spent New Year's together. I think all of us had massive projects. We're like, tap! And then got a bunch of stuff done. I think that's when I made my Vikings and the Cowboy album. So anyway, good stuff to come. I'm glad to be back. Engaged here. I'm cleaning the desk off here, looking at all the dust that has gathered, metaphorically and literally. Anyway, I'm excited to engage with you guys again, pushing into the hobby because it's just getting better and better and better. So I do see 9-layer Nige has popped in. What's up, 9? Yo, he is a Blue Star member, so we take our hat off to him. 9, good to see you. All right. So 9's always, by the way, he's a pretty knowledgeable dude. So if you guys have questions, he's a pretty smart fellow. And he has joined us as one of our moderators over on the Discord. So you're always welcome to say hi to him. And he's putting out good videos. In fact, if any of you guys have any videos you want to show off, happy to show them off here. Okay, so you can send me links and we will take a look at them together. Okay, yo, with that in mind, let's pop on over to the Get Going Fast page. Okay, so this, of course, is at getgoingfast.pro. And let's see what's going on. Now, again, the week before, I didn't do a whole lot. I posted some news stuff because, again, I've been at a funeral for the family, been out doing stuff, and really just getting back home and settled into hopefully really nailing down. But let's go through some of this stuff, and we'll just take a look at what's been going on. This, as you guys might know, is our free system checker. This could go to anybody. I think you just have to sign up as a free member on the Get Going Fast site, and this is huge, or it's huge, right? The main issue with this is so many people will contact you and be like, hey, this isn't working, and I can't get this to work, and they're banging their heads against the wall, or else on the bad side, sometimes you get, they're like, your stuff's crap, and you're like, okay, well, dude, why don't you go over here, just, it's really easy, go to checker.getgoingfast.pro, okay, and it's going to take you to a site which you can download this, and it will show you what's going on with your system. Now, I've updated it, okay? There were some errors, there was just some there was some wonkiness about it that didn't always give a clean output. Plus, people will be like, well, I don't know what to do with it. So, we did actually update this. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to show you what it looks like over here. Derp. So pretty much it runs like this. You'll see that it says your system information, CPU, your GPU. This is always important to make sure. I'm going to be honest, guys. You got to make sure that these guys have. You got to make sure these guys have NVIDIA stuff, because a lot of times, whoa, look at that. That's craziness. How did that get like that? A lot of times these guys don't have RTX stuff going on, and it ain't gonna work without that. So, at any rate, you start scrolling through this. Boy, that's too big. I feel like my face is too big for this scene. Let's do something like this. There we go. That way I'm not up in your grill. All right. So at any rate, you get down here. These are going to be their main things. Notice you got to check, make sure your Miniconda is installed, your Git, your Python, your CUDA. Oh, interesting. I've got 2 CUDAs installed. So one of these is supposed to be uninstalled because I did some updating. That's actually good for me to know. I'm going to get rid of this 12.8. On a side note, I've updated my CUDA to 12.9. We could talk a little bit about that. We'll come back to it. Okay, remind me. Let's talk a little bit about 12.9. The bottom line is you can run this stuff and then look at it. It says required software summary. We added this as well. Your system is analyzed for key requirements. Our requirements is installed. There's a lot of people that are going to get it. They don't know what to do with it. They can get it now. It'll give them a summary. It'll even kind of tell them what to do. But this is a huge tool for helping people that don't really know what they're doing. And you know, and that's not a slam. That is just there's a learning curve. So we want to do everything we can to help these guys get going fast. Okay, we did look at this 2.2, the first last frame. The FLF stands for first last frame model manager. So we'll take a look at this. This is actually really awesome. This is powerful stuff. I typically don't get too involved with is that turned up? I think that's turned up. Yeah. Okay. I don't typically get too involved with in-depth movie making stuff because, you know, I just don't have the patience for it. I'm like a kid. I'm like a kid that just wants to play with the next thing and the next thing. And this kind of stuff, if I was a younger man, I would have like drilled down. Because you can really take one image, you take the next image, you create everything in between it. Then you can take that last image, create an image from there, and then everything in between it. So if you've got the patience and the time, you can make full movies with this stuff. And here's the thing, it works really good. Okay, so the 2.2 first last frame is fantastic. It's great. It worked. I'll show you a few examples of smaller stuff I did. Of course, I made a model manager for it. The model manager is easy. You just throw it outside of your comfy UI. And it gives you the options of different quantized models. So if it's not working on one, try a smaller one, that kind of thing. This is pretty standard get going fast type stuff here. Just a really fast, easy way to get into the game. Okay, I am noticing no one's really talking here, and it might just be because I'm boring as hell. But be sure to say hey. Okay, right now we've only got one person that's in the race. That is, of course, 9-layer Nige over here. Let's see. So he actually is running the Boulder Mobile here. Guys, if you want the Boulder Mobile, you got to speak up. All right, here we go. 9 says he has been doing a huge amount of FLF2V lately. And I would not be surprised because that's exactly the kind of stuff that Nige does. So if you want to send us a link, we're happy to take a look at that. Anyway, very good stuff. Here's some stuff I worked on. Here is a first frame to last example. So we took a guy's D&D character, and this was actually pretty easy. So we started, of course, with this image, and I got this image. Honestly, I just took his stat thing. So he's got, you know, his player with his stats. Threw it into ChatGPT, and I said create an image. And created this image. Then I went and I said, to ChatGPT. I said, oops, over here. I said, take this same image and now create an end one for it. Like, and I said actually for a first frame to last frame image generation, create a thing that looks like he's looking at the camera, and it did it. And then I threw it in there, and it didn't take that long, like 4 minutes maybe, and it made this video, which I think is highly impressive. I like the way his hair flops. Everything is just very good. I made some others up here too. We'll skip up here. Same idea. Took some D&D characters. Oh shoot, hold on. Took some D&D characters and turned them into cyberpunk and D&D. So this is all just 2 images, and then everything done in between there. And I actually worked with the people whose avatars these are, and asked them, what do you want, kind of thing. Excuse me. So there you go. The first frame, last frame, good stuff. Okay. Be sure to play with that. That is obviously awesome stuff. So you definitely want to play with it. You can play with that in 1.2GP as well. So there you go. All right. New stuff. Thus it begins. The beginning of AI nationalism. Now, this is an interesting article. And a lot of times people in the world today, they look at the word nationalism and they see it like a bad word. Which is not actually. The last hundreds of years have been, or last long time has been nationalism, and it's a great thing when done good, because it means that you've got different nations with cultural identities that are working towards a similar goal, but doing it in their own way instead of one kind of uni-brain. I don't even want to use the word brain, but kind of uni-thought. Again, I don't even want to use the word thought. Some sort of agreement consensus thing that everyone has to comply to. So nationalism is actually a great way to make sure that you get the best of the best. So this was interesting about this is it says Switzerland launches apparatus, an open source AI model trained on public data. Okay, so true to its tradition of neutrality and independence, which in the past, whatever. Okay, this is the interesting part. It's moving closer to securing its own sovereign AI. All right, and here's the key. Where of reliance on American Chinese startups for access to cutting-edge AI, countries are taking steps to develop AI infrastructure, and that's wonderful. That's exactly it. So they don't trust what's going on in America. They don't trust what's going on in China. They say, we need to make sure that we have some sort of national sovereignty still attached to our business needs and our AI needs, all this stuff. So they're making stuff. And effectively what this does is it let's see here. Well, it's down here. It explains it a bit more. Having a free model that will build domestically with full transparency will help domestic businesses that use models, here we go, to comply with the strict data protection and intellectual property laws in Europe. And that's beautiful. Okay, so the EU wants to regulate everything into the absolute ground and control everything down to the micro level, even your thoughts. And so, hey, you know what? Great. If that's what you want to do, then you've got models to do it. Right now, what's been happening is they're going after like American companies and saying like because you are the main thing, you need to comply to our EU standards, and our EU standards are very strict, right? And so, in a sense, what that does is it actually says, well, businesses that are built for the USA, for America, are now beholden to other sovereign countries' whims and whatnot. And so they could actually, they're talking about, the U.S. threatened to sue American companies, billions of dollars. They've actually talked about arresting American business people because they don't agree with certain free speech stuff and this and that. And so effectively what this does is it says, fine, you know what, you guys have your things over there, create AI infrastructure that works for you. then you don't have to use the American ones, okay? You can use your ones that are tailored for you. And then if you want to do business in America, you can use the American ones. If you want to do business in Switzerland, you can use the Switzerland ones. It actually creates several different options, right? So then if you're a business, even if you're an American business and you're wanting to build something for Europe, you can say, well, we'll build it over here for America, but we'll also use the AI that's there in Europe. So this is good stuff, okay? So effectively, we're getting out of the uniblob and getting back to a thing of saying, let's do stuff on, let's do stuff that makes sense according to nations. All right. Judge puts Anthropic 1.5 billion book piracy settlement on hold. And it's not quite what you think, but essentially, Anthropic here, that's Claude, all that good stuff. They trained their models off of a bunch of pirated stuff, which is what you do. It's like the dirty little secret is that you can't have AI without huge, massive amounts of data. And I want to be honest, I think that there's some eminent domain stuff, which is probably going to happen here, where it's like you have to have the information. And I personally don't think that. I think it's one of those things. I'm not saying it should or would or whatnot. But I am saying that if we're going to move forward, they got to have information. So this is the way they're settling it out. They're settling it out, saying Anthropic used a bunch of pirated stuff, and they have to pay like $3,000 per book that they trained it on. So this comes over to $1.5 billion. And this affected. I don't know if you remember, like with the tobacco industry. Finally, they sued the tobacco industry. There was $1 billion payouts, and effectively, what it did is it wiped the board clean for the tobacco industry. And now I'm not trying to compare these things in regards to health-wise or morality. I'm just trying to say that use that one as an example, kind of how litigation can help wipe the slate clean. And effectively, what they're doing here is these AI companies that all trained on personal information, they're going to pay huge amounts of money, and it's going to wipe the slate clean. So now what this judge has done is he's put a stop on it, because effectively, if you read it down here, it's going to say that it might not be enough. So they had made an agreement, and he's going to want to, or he or she or whoever, this judge is going to want to say that they might have a bit more. So, but this is just sort of interesting stuff, because it really, again, is setting the stage for what's going on. Okay. Again, on a side note, I would be surprised if in the future there's like no private information, because as these things become, as AI becomes more and more important for national security, like, they're gonna just want information. Okay. California closer to regulating chatbots. This is last week. I was gone, so we posted a lot more news stuff. But California bill that would regulate AI companion chatbots is coming closer to law. Of course, California is a champion, like the EU, is a champion of regulating everything into the ground. But I will say, there's stuff here that's not that bad, because we all know that unfettered chatbot stuff or AI is a danger. I think all of us can know that AI could be a very dangerous thing. And so there are certain regulations that are going to go in there. One of the things that this hits on, this particular article is talking about chatbots, because there's been a lot of this sexualization. I don't know if the chatbots are sexualizing kids. That's the culture. I mean, all you got to do is turn on the TV, they're sexualizing kids. But people like, we want to keep that on Netflix and on a public broadcasting, not on our chatbots. So in the chatbots, you had they found out that these things. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. The chatbots, they found they have had sexual talks with kids. They've had weird conversations, and you get these things where a few kids have killed themselves or something, and it seemed like the chatbot may have encouraged it. And so they're just, I don't know the answer to do this, because the very nature of how chatbots work is that they don't really think. They're just giving the the most likely answer, right? So um, that's why you can trick chatbots into having certain conversations, because not that you actually have, it's just saying that if this was said, what would be the correct response? And we all know how that goes, where you get into a point where you get engineers, people, tech boys that are out there, not even the tech boys, they're hiring out to some dippy group out there that's ideologues or has their own ideals, and then they're starting to write what's appropriate conversation and this and that, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you can't talk about benign stuff or political stuff from one side, because so there's this problem of, to really protect chatbots, you have to kind of control the narrative, but if you go too far, then you dominate the narrative, and it becomes ideological. We've all seen that. Okay, so I don't know how this is going to work out, but obviously it's needed. You can't have. I think what's going to probably end up happening is you're going to get into the public space. We're going to get more back to an idea of saying that we've got public space chatbots that will talk about stuff, and then you got like Facebook, and then it'll be a very benign one. So you'll have places that you probably have to, like you wouldn't let your kid, well, you shouldn't, just let your kid go down to a rave in downtown, whatever city you're in by themselves, because you're not going to go down there and regulate what adults are doing in an adult space just because you're crappy. Let your kid go there. And but then if you go to McDonald's, you wouldn't expect to have adult type stuff taking place there either. So I kind of think probably what they're going to end up doing is, I hope, is rebuilding what the definition of the public space is, and then creating bots and stuff that you can go there, but you can go elsewhere. So it's not one overarching dominant, it has to be like this. But California's moving towards that. I should mention really quickly that one of the things they also are doing, which is good as well, is that they're starting to, I think is good, they're starting to put stuff in there, like if you're going to be developing with AI, there's certain things you have to report, like can you turn it off? Does it have the potential to do this, that, and that? So there are some metrics that they're putting in there that if you're going to be developing, you have to do safety stuff. So that's all good. That's coming down the pipe. We'll see how it goes. All right. Now, this is our getting back in the saddle stuff here. So this is hopefully where we're going to be. This is hopefully where we're headed more. In fact, we are headed more this. So this is me back. We're back to stuff to play with. Honey One Image 2.1 is really cool. I've created again, a model manager. You can get this going in your Comfy UI straight up. We couldn't get this running in a Gradio app, but it's so slow to run this stuff in a Gradio app. And I really would like to move back to Gradio apps, and I think we will. But again, this is running in Comfy UI. So with this, you can do 2K images in seconds. So these took like 35 to 40 seconds. They're not the best in the world, okay, but they're not bad, especially for how fast they're created. And the point is, these are big. These are poster-sized stuff. So it's not going to beat Quinn. It's not going to beat Flux. If you're looking at this as, is it better than Quinn? Is it better than Flux? It's not. But that's not the point. You're looking at it the wrong way. What this does is it creates images in very high def in a very fast amount of time. So even though this is only this size on my screen, this is actually poster size. You could actually print this out on poster size, and it only took a little bit of time to do it. And obviously there are some errors in it. It doesn't do the best always, but it's not bad. It's good. And if you need high def stuff done fast, this is the way. Now, one other thing about this, and we don't really do this a lot here on the Get Going Fast page, is that you can train this stuff. So even if you don't like the quality of stuff, you can still train it to be a better model. And evidently, this is a fast model. Like it's an efficient model. So in other words, you can train it with a lot less electricity. So all right. So we get on here. Here's another little image I made with it. Cool stuff. And oh, that's the other thing. This thing can take up to 1,000 characters for this prompt. So that's huge. Okay, so usually put like a cat sitting on a hot tin roof. The skyline is blah 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 blah. So you can really get descriptive with this, using up to 1,000 tokens to get in. That's quite large. So you can be very descriptive, and it follows the prompt adherence real well. Okay, then we just did a video here on how to install this stuff. Our AI Brews weekly roundup. This was actually a really good week of stuff, so might want to go check that out. We've been playing around with Google LLM is now giving...
Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back.
Now giving a little video thing, so it actually kind of creates this. It used to just be sound, but yeah, it's okay. It's cool. Now it's got a little bit of video
Create
stuff.
and even edit your Excel sheets, Word docs, and...
There actually was some really cool stuff in here, like this, like the Claude, and ChatGPT has added some stuff. Okay, and then lastly, here we go, guys. Update to the free Comfy UI manual installer, and this is again huge. So this is something that we give free to everybody, because you just got to be getting going with Comfy UI. You can get this by going to comfy.getgoingfast.pro. So we've updated it. Oh, this is where we can talk about CUDA 12.9. When we were on this before, this Comfy, we had a whole bunch of different ones down here you had to choose from. There's only one to choose from now, and it will cover your system, whether you got RTX 30, 40, or 50. And that's kind of the nice thing. We were going to talk about that quickly. The CUDA 12.9, it used to be that this stuff, when the 50 series cards first came out, there was only a torch and a CUDA that worked for the 40 cards and one that worked for the 50 cards, and they have gotten that all worked out so that it all works together, which means that now we can go up to the newest CUDA stuff and it will all work, and it works great. So this is actually very cool. We just have one link now. You don't have to worry about which one to get, the 11.8 or the 12.6. Just get this one. It will work. And what's beautiful about... Oh, whoops, there we go. Hey, there it is. Okay, what's beautiful about this one here is that... Where did we go? It does install the Triton, the Sage Attention, the DeepSeek, and Xformers. It will actually check your system, see what you've got, and it will do it all for you. So if you've been having trouble getting these things going, it'll get them all going for you. And, oh, that's the other thing. In the past, you had to have Python 3.10, which was always a little bit of a troublesome, because the Comfy UI Python version has always been 3.12 or 3.13, which we really want to avoid when we're doing most of our AI stuff. You really need 3.10 because most stuff does not work on that. But if you have those installed, you can still use it with this. This will actually ask you which Python you want to. Actually, it'll check it and then suggest it to you. But cool stuff. So you can get this free to people. Just comfy.getgoingfast.pro. All right, let's see. We're going to end up here, but Malcolm popped in. Malcolm says he's looking into trying WAN 2.2 fun with video control. So we'll add that to the list of stuff to work on. I believe you could probably do that in WAN 2GP. I'm going to tell you, WAN 2GP is sort of the default thing to go. If there's something new that comes out, I run it, and I run that and see if he has it, because if it's new, he probably has it. So before we go, we'll just do a little extra here. We'll load this up. Let's see if WAN2GP has it. And meanwhile, we can also do a quick search over here. What I like to do is go to WAN2GP GitHub. And he does a very good job of updating this stuff. So if we type in fun, weekend fun. So maybe he doesn't have it in there yet. So, okay, well, we'll take a look at that. Let's open this up really quick. Juan 2.2. So he does not have the fun in there. All right, so I'll have to take a look at that. We'll see if I can get that going for you guys today. Malcolm, I appreciate you mentioning that. Okay, well, that is it for our weekly review. I think the look forward, we're going to look at a few things this week, including, let's see if I can find this. We're going to look at it, I think it's called Humo. Yep, here it is. We're going to be looking at this, Humo lip syncing, so more lip syncing stuff coming out. Probably here within the next day, I'll get you a model out for that. I want to do a video on the best Lauras for getting good looking people. I'll tell you what, there is a workflow that came out that is showing just absolutely incredible quality of Juan 2.2 faces. Like it's gotten to the point where it looks extremely real. Like you're like, wow. Like I actually had a video the other day I watched, and I couldn't tell if it was AI or not. So I actually have a workflow that I've been trying to get going, and we'll release that to you guys as well. Oh, look at this. I already did have vase fun on here. So I just need to get to that. AI Toolkit is something, training your own Juan 2.2 models. So you can make images with the face of a person on there. That's something I want to take a look at as well. And I think I'm just looking at my sheet here. I think that's what we're going to be working on. I'm also taking a look at some Gradio apps. So with the Hunyuan 2.1 and Juan 2.2, I'm looking at seeing if I can turn those into simple single Gradio apps for you. Juan 2GP is so good, though. It works so easily. But I get it. Like people would like that. Something I can just click, do the one thing out. So we are working on that this week. So keep your eye open for that. All right. In the meanwhile, I think we will call it good for this. All right. Appreciate your guys' time. Looks like we only had 2 people come in today. Well, we had several people watching. Only had 2 people talk. So that does mean the wacky races were not so wacky. But 9 ends up with number 1 over here with the Boulder Mobile. And Malcolm popped in last second and gets the Creepy Coop. So good job to you guys. All right, you guys have a good week. We will catch up with you. Come hit us up on the Discord. Hang out with us. We'd love to see you and see what you're doing. In the meanwhile, you stay good and